Hello and welcome back to Choice Bits of Bliss. My name is Cilla. Today we're talking about my weekend away with Teresa. Her channel is For the Love of Paper Crafting. And we had the best time going to the Stamp and Scrapbook Expo in Duluth, Georgia. We went last year and decided, you know what, we're doing it again. We had a ton of fun. And this year we went with a plan that we had been making since the spring. So first I'm going to show you what I packed. I packed a pack of scraps. This is a bag of scraps. And in the back of my bag of scraps is another little bag, and it has black and white cardstock so that I would have foundation bases. I packed this tool, and I packed this punch. I packed these scissors because I was playing with the idea of trying to sneak these through security, and I chickened out. I couldn't do it. I also packed a small paper cutter, paper trimmer. So that was the, oh yes. And then I packed this for my adhesive. It did me no good at all because I forgot to, this is a refill. I forgot to take this to go with it. So I'm showing you this and I'm sharing this with you because we're not perfect. And we're going to make mistakes. It's okay. Just roll with it. So I knew I was going to be, the first thing we were going to be doing was going to the convention, and I was able to buy another adhesive, and it worked all weekend long. So that turned out really, really well. I'm going to put these up so that I don't have so much stuff just floating around on my space. Y'all know how I am. Okay, so I mentioned that we went with a plan, and we had started talking about what our plan would consist of way back when we did Crop and Create delivered in the spring. So we decided that this album kit that was part of that weekend event, we would go through, cut our papers on our own, and then assemble the album to get when we were together this weekend. And that's what we did. So we created the album, and if you want to see an album share, I'll do that later on. Right now I'm not going to show everything because I've got so much to share, and we're going to run out of time. So we created this album together. These are the leftovers from my album. So I had just this little handful of paper out of 2 packs of ephemera. That's all I have left. This is my 1/8 of an inch double-sided glue of an entire Simple Stories sticker sheet. You know what they look like. This is all that's left. And of an entire pack of the foam stickers, I consolidated them down to just one side. So as you can tell, the kit we used is Simple Vintage Indigo Garden by Simple Stories. That was the collection we used for the book. And these 2 pieces of paper, so I've got an entire 12 by 12, and this looks to be about a 6 by 12. This was all the paper we had left that were bigger sizes. So this is one of the things that I love, love, love about creating albums with Vicki Booten, is that she digs into your product. She's fearless. She doesn't care, you know, she doesn't have any special pieces that she has to save, and because she doesn't think like I do, and it's a good thing. She just digs in, and it makes me dig in and use my product, and I always love the results. So each time it's strengthening that resolve inside of me. Just use your product. Just use it and be happy with it. So that is the album. Then once we got there, we both had I'm sorry, I'm talking and I'm away from the camera. We both had decided to bring each other just little gifts. And I want to share with you what Teresa gave me because it is just so yummy. Now, she knows I have a secret love affair, maybe it's not so secret, with junk journals. And she feeds my addiction. So she made me these 2 Traveler's Notebooks junk journals. So it's the size of a Traveler's Notebook, but they are junk journals. And she just puts the stuff in there so that I can play with it any way that I want to play with it and decorate it any way I want to decorate it. It always looks fabulous. Always. I love how hers look. And she used a staple binding system. But when I start working with it, I feel like I'm doing it wrong. And she's like, you can't do it wrong. So I just wanted to show y'all what she made me. It's so, oh my gosh. She didn't just make me those 2 books. She gave me the scrap so that I can use the rest of it if I wanted to. And she goes to these book fairs, these used book fairs, pretty frequently and picks up interesting books to her that she can use in junk journals. And she gave me pages, a few pages out of those books that just, oh, I'm so excited to play with these. I'm really, really excited to play with these. So I just wanted to share that. I just think it was such a thoughtful, precious gift to get me out of my head and making my own, and then to play with what she gave me. And by the way, Teresa is extremely thoughtful and kind. And once again, her channel is For the Love of Paper Crafting. So I forgot to show you something that I packed. I also packed a 4x6 little case of photos that were already printed. I didn't know what kind of paper I was going to buy. I just knew that whatever paper I bought, I would be scrapbooking with it this weekend. Let me straighten that up just a hair. So now I'm going to share with you what I bought. One of the things I got was this. I think they're called chippies. And I got this from a booth that sold Mente, because I was looking at this online, and you can punch these out and color them, you know, whatever color you need to color them for the layout you're doing. And I've never bought chippies from Mente, and thought this was a good time to just work, you know, get in there and see if I like it. I bought this much single paper. So not as much as I did last year, but this is what I bought in singles. I bought pieces of collections that I did not buy the collection when the collection came out, and I only liked certain pieces, so that's the pieces I bought. My brain just went blank for a second. I'm also running out of places to put things. So I'm not going to go through every single collection. I'm just going to show what I bought. So this is Photo Plate, Notting Hill Bookstore. I'm sorry for the glare. I'm having a crafty lunch. This is the North Pole Trading Company. Oh Canada 2 by Photo Play. To the Moon and Back. Scrap Happy. This was a free gift for Teresa, and she gave it to me because she got one last year. Fern and Willard. Autumn Greetings. And an Everyday Card Kit. Now, the reason we got an Everyday Card Kit is because we have already set a date that we're going to put cards together online in a online crop, so that, because we paid $5 for this, And for $5, we're going to end up with 8 cards. You can't buy that in a store. So we did a card kit. This is Like a Girl, Cabin Fever, and Tula and Norbert's Sweet as Honey. Some of these I've already, because that was my plan, was to scrapbook with what I bought. Many of these I've already started using them and have dug into them. It makes me so happy. I will show you those layouts that I completed up this weekend at the end. And I had to pick up my crafty lunch real quick, or I'd end up stepping on something I don't need to step on. They have a booth called Keep It Simple, and I bought this essentials kit from Howdy was the name of that collection. That was a collection I did not buy when it came out, but for the price that they had it at, I couldn't resist it. I bought some cardstock. This was at the Photo Play booth because I just thought it would, and I've already dug into it, to use with the layouts that I created that last weekend. We went to Close to My Heart, and I bought 2 packs at Close to My Heart. Love those collections. They're very pretty. And we visited a booth that had some 49 in Market, and this is the only collection I bought of 49 in Market, but I did get some other things, and I'll show you those. Now this is all going to start being, because I literally just unpacked it and set it over here to start sharing. And Teresa, bless her heart, she gave me her bag so that I could put my small things in, so that I wouldn't have to put those in my luggage and make my luggage even heavier. Okay. In the Photo Play booth, they had these packs. So you get the die and the stamps for a very, very, very low price. Very low price. That is why I got as many as I did. So you could just make sayings, sentiments, and then the big words have dies. This one is Autumn Greetings. This one is just very general type sentiments. Grateful. So not in the die set, you got the outline and the word. This I thought was just really useful. Size for journaling. And this one goes with the Mad Plaid Fall. Mad for Plaid Fall. And then these dies are just for sentiment strips. They also had ephemera. Extremely cheap. So we got packs of ephemera to go with some of the collections that we had, or if like I remembered I had something at home that went with this. So I didn't buy a collection that was America the Beautiful, but I know I have this here at the house. I also got this fall plaids. So just general, easy to use. I mentioned already the 49 in Market. So I did not know that these prices is not what we paid. They took a percentage off of what we bought. And if I had known that, I probably would have bought more. But I also got these 4 pieces at the 49 in Market booth. So I'm trying to keep this straight. That was all to keep it simple. I forgot this because I packed these separate. This is something else I brought in my normal packing. I did not buy that there. Okay, I think I've got things sort of. I'm missing something. Here it is. Okay, so there was a booth that had Mente. And I did not, because Mente is one of the companies that I have some, but I don't want to just go hog wild with it and buy tons and tons and tons of it. So I bought two 6x6 pads. There is 24 pieces in each pad, and I have already used, I think, 7 out of this one. Like I said, I'll show y'all. It's so pretty. So pretty. But I will show you the layouts at the end. And then this one is called Written Memories. And so one of the things I did this past weekend is kind of push myself using 6x6 paper pads. Now, the Keep It Simple booth always has simple stories. Always. And it's so ridiculously inexpensive that it's less than, I want to say it's about 60% off normal retail price. So these, excuse me, these puffy or the foam packs were $3. These frames were $3. These were $2. I've already dug into this one. These were $2. These were $2. And these were $2. I couldn't pass those up. I could not pass those up. So what I did was I tried to kind of beef up collections that I either already had or that I just had very little of. And so that I'd already used. What I meant to say is that collections that I had already used a lot of or had very little of. Anyway, I'm tired and my brain's not working right. So I did buy these stamps from the 49 in Market. There was a die store. It was mostly for card making, but they had one small section of dies that were specifically for scrapbooking, that you could make these like borders and stuff. And if you bought 3, you got 1 free. So we looked around and we both tried to find 3 that we liked so we could get a free one, but we just didn't find anything that we liked. So we found 4 that we liked so that we could get 1 of those free. So those dies were from there. Then, oh, here's another 49 in Market. Then we found these Elizabeth craft designs, and we both agreed that Dorothy Guinan of Scrapbooking Quebec has just made us love these dies. She is so good at using her dies in many different ways. And so we bought some Elizabeth Craft Design dies. I'm looking around. Oh yeah, when we were checking out at the Close to My Heart, we found these were just $5, so we got those. But there was an idea that they had shared on the wall that made us really think we've got to have these bottles. Okay, we're at the end. So I will show you the layouts I created with the products that I bought this weekend. This is my husband and I on our way home from, we had stayed in the cabin in the wood, it's about 2 hours north of Toronto. And so we'd stayed in his friend's cabin all weekend and we were on our way home. This is when we realized this is going someplace. And I made this one of my husband. He was being a grump that day, but it's a sweet picture. I like it. This is made from 6x6 Mente. And I was telling Teresa the story about this picture. We rode out, we went into a boat tour out in the Cilla-Choice Sound. And this sandbar is only visible for a very, very short period a day. And our boat pulled up to it. We all got out and we were able to walk around and explore the sandbar for a little bit. And then the captain of the boat started yelling at everybody, get back in the boat, get back in the boat, get back in the boat. And as we were getting back in the boat and kind of turning around, he told us, you know, turn around and watch. And we started watching. The ocean just kind of started covering it up. And then before we pulled out or got out of there, you could no longer see the sandbar that we had just been walking on. This is my husband and one of his best friends. They've been friends since college days, and they were acting like a couple of dorks because they realized I was taking pictures of them, so they posed. Then they stuck their tongue out at me. Then they started laughing because they think they're hilarious. And then I made them straighten up and do it right. This is my brother and one of his grandsons on his farm. So he has a chicken house. He grows them from babies. And then this was from that same trip, and this got banged up a little bit on the sides, but in traveling. But this is a shrimping boat that was out in the ocean that we sailed close to, and I thought it was beautiful. We were coming into sunset, and so I snapped that picture. This is a phone picture. So I think I've told it before. My side hustle is a photographer. I've been doing it since 2006. I learned old school how to be a photographer without digital. So, you know, back then everybody thought the camera is, you know, the camera, if you have the right camera, you can take great pictures. And partially that's true. These are some scraps I had left over. But our phones take such excellent photos that when people come to me and ask, and I get asked this frequently, what camera should I buy? And I'm just going to tell you straight up and honest. If you're not going into it for a business, don't buy a camera. Use your phone. You're going to get quality photos that you can print, that you can hang on your wall, that you can give as gifts from your phone. So one of the things that to consider is if you're keeping the print relatively small, and I'm going to say 8x10 and lower, you're going to be really, really happy with your phone. Okay, that's enough of preaching about that today. So, once again, we had a fantastic time. We went with a plan. We didn't go as crazy as we probably could have. Our bags just got so heavy that we decided, you know, we're going to go eat Mexican food and call it a day. We went back to our room, and we had this really long desk that we could both sit at to work on our albums. That's what we did the first day, and on the second day we just scrapbooked. Teresa worked on another album that she had. It went way too fast. We had the best time, and we will do it again next year, I'm sure, because now it's a tradition. So anyway, I just wanted to share with you all how much fun we had, what we bought, what our plan was, and how we were able to carry out our plans. We will talk again soon, I promise you. Bye-bye.